Fun. This is a paprika, and this one's ripe. I'm going to be picking it today and using it. So, welcome to Two Cooks in the Kitchen. Let's talk about chilies. We cook a lot with chilies, many different kinds of chilies. We use fresh chilies. Here are some poblanos we just bought today from Dean at the farmer's market. These are Anaheims, which are usually, most of the year, they're green, but towards the end of the season, they turn red, which makes them sweeter.
They're nice and thick, too.
Not necessarily hotter. The skins on these, or the meat in there is really thick and very meaty. This is, I forget what he called it, it's some kind of Italian chili that can be stuffed, and we're gonna do that. And here's two serranos from our greenhouse, and those also are turning red now. And we also grew some paprika, and I've got a bunch of paprikas here because today I'm making a sauce with them. But we froze these last year because we were getting ready to go out of town, and we had to pick them and do something with them. So chilies freeze very nicely, and you can do all kinds of things with them. So here's what they look like on the plant. We have a couple varieties here in our greenhouse. I tried to arrange a trip to a chili farm this summer, but it just never quite worked out. Would have been fun. This is a paprika, and this one's ripe. I'm going to be picking it today and using it. Some of them don't grow quite so straight. And here we have serranos. These grew really nicely this year. Look how big those are. And a lot of these are red. And that just means they're not going to get any riper, and they're sweeter when they're red rather than hotter. And over here I have a sweet Italian pepper. It was a weird year in this greenhouse, so these are red when they're ripe, and we're in November already, and none of them have turned red, and this plant has not produced very many. We'll see what happens with that. Over here I have another sweet Italian that is not going to give us any peppers, and this is a Fresno chili, and these usually get quite a bit bigger, but not this year. So there you have it. I'm gonna let's go back in and look at some more dried chilies. So the poblano, when it turns red, which it will, I was surprised there weren't any red ones today. When it turns red and gets dried, becomes ancho. So here is a bag of anchos. I think I have some open already. I'll find them. The ancho is a bumpy skinned chili, which a characteristic of the bumpy skinned ones is that they have a nice big fruity flavor. Here's some anchos. This is probably the one I cook with the most. We went to New Mexico and bought these. They're pretty small. They're not very big. But you know, they do the job. They're a nice ancho chili. So I probably cook with these more than anything else. Chili. Oh yes, when the Anaheims are dried, they're called, most of the time, New Mexico chilies. I don't know if you can really see through this.
Not really very well.
They're a smooth-skinned, red, very red chili. This is the chili that's used for making Colorado sauce, red sauces, very commonly. It's got a very distinctive chili flavor. They're also, the University of New Mexico developed from the Anaheim, or from the same chili, bunch of chilies, family of chilies, I suppose, the Hatch chili. Now the
Can you
difference,
take that out?
yeah, the difference is, or one big difference is, with the Hatch chili, you'll very seldom ever see a really hot New Mexico chili. But with the Hatch chilies, you can get them hot or mild, or very mild. And so when we went to New Mexico, I picked up hot Hatch chilies, and they're great. They're really great. Another commonly used chili is the pasilla. This is a long, very dark chili. And there's another version of that is called the pasilla negro, which is even darker. And so when you're making like a black mole or something, you want to use your darker chilies, right? And so the pasilla negro is a long, dark chili. I dried some that I got from Dean. They're around here somewhere. I don't know. They're over there somewhere.
Someone got a problem.
Oh, here they are. Here's my house-dried pasilla negro. It's always just a fun experiment, that's all. So Serranos, these are some Serranos that we dried last year.
We just hung them to dry, right?
We hung them to dry, and we had to take them down because we painted the walls. So, but I've also bought these from Spices Inc. a long time ago, and they're a little different shape, and these are just hot. These are really, really spicy. So I don't know, they were using a different sort of Serrano there in New Mexico. So we also have dried habaneros.
Are those called something else? Oh, wait, it's blurry, okay.
They just came with a label that said habaneros. So, and to take that even further, once you have a dried chili, you're just inches away from a dried chili powder. So this is some habanero chili powder that we picked up in New Mexico. Really hot.
Very, very
a little
hot.
bit of that goes a long ways.
Yeah.
That Kelly always shudders when she sees me starting to use that. Okay, so we got through the pasillas, the pasilla negros,
Chipotle.
and here is my new favorite, is the morita, or dried chipotle. These things have such a great flavor, and
It's drier.
they're really great. So I should say one thing about all of these chilies. If you go into the grocery store and you look at their dried chilies in a bin and you touch them, they just kind of crumble. And these chilies are more like raisins. They're very flexible. They have a lot of life left in them. And I think that just really adds a lot to them. So another chili, and this is the one that is most commonly substituted for any chili you can't find or don't have, is the guajillo. And that's how you spell that. And these are red chilies. Like if you substitute an Amarillo chili with a guajillo, your sauce is going to be redder. So for Colorado type sauces, anything that, even the common mole, which is a mole rojo, the one that has a lot of chocolate going for it, that would have some guajillos in it, as well as New Mexico chilies and anchos. This is the arbol. And usually I see them smaller, but when we were in Hatch, we found this nice big bag of beautiful arbol chilies. All right, so these are all chilies that you can find pretty readily. But now on to the rarer chilies. I have some chilies here that only come from Oaxaca. You can't get them on Amazon. You got to kind of look around for them, but you are able to find them definitely more readily at different times of the year. And so there's two kinds of Amarillo chilies, and these are used for making mole Amarillo, which comes out very, very yellow. This is the Costeño Amarillo and the Chihuahua Amarillo. And these are, this must be a beautiful chili when it's growing. But you can see even that it's a little bit yellow here, but when you get it in the sauce, it's really yellow. And the other one is the Chihuahua Negro. And this is used in mole costillo, and Oaxacan black mole. It's really only available at certain times of the year. This is used for making a mole that's for funerals, maybe your Day of the Dead celebrations. You break out your rare chilies and make a really interesting mole to share with your neighbors. In the world, you know, there's a lot of other different chilies out there. These are the most commonly used, and that's why we have them, is because I see a recipe that calls for a weird chili, I have to have it.
There's worse habits you can have.
Yeah, there are. So to reconstitute a dried chili and get it into a form you can use, this is done in a number of different ways, and throughout all of our mole recipes we use a whole bunch of the different ways. Most common, I think, is to take the seeds out and tear them into little pieces, put them in a dry frying pan for about 30 seconds until they start to bubble and get aromatic, and that kind of brings out some flavor, and then soak them in hot water for at least a half an hour. And then they're ready to be blended up and used. Another way I've seen recently is in some of these Oaxacan moles is to just put the chilies right in boiling water along with the tomatoes and let them soften that way. But it's just a fantastic world, this world of chilies. So dive in and see what you can find. So thanks for watching Two Cooks in the Kitchen, and we'll see you next time.